sub, still no company or Vermaelen. They've got to be considered doubtful at least for that World Cup. And Roberto Martinez again going with that favoured three at the back. Lukaku supported by Mertens and Hazard. De Bruyne playing right in the centre of midfield. Two captains, Eden Hazard and Brian Ruiz, a familiar figure. And our referee from Romania, Ovidiu Hatiga. Crowd of just under 30,000 expected tonight here in the King Baudouin Stadium. There's Costa Rica. Keylor Navas, of course, the one genuine world star, but Premier League experience with Brian Ruiz, with Christian Gamboa, Brian Oviedo. 5 changes to the side that were beaten by England up in Leeds on Thursday. And again, just like Belgium, Costa Rica going with 3 at the back. They did so effectively 4 years ago in Brazil. And difficult to get through that back line and the midfield of Costa Rica, who were very, very well organised. Belgium in the slightly unfamiliar yellow shirts tonight. Romelu Lukaku, their record goal scorer, leading the line. Brian Ruiz, the captain of Costa Rica, back tonight. He's had a bit of an injury problem, but he's ready for Costa Rica, kicking off in those red shirts. They're going from right to left. Well, 3 days to go until the World Cup. Final preparations for Belgium and Costa Rica, and the former United winger Ben Thornley alongside me. One thing you don't want to do is get injured in this game, do you? But you've got to give it your all as well.
You do. It's mightily close to the kick-off, and I'm sure that'll be in the backs of every player's mind that's out there. They're all going to be involved in in a week's time. It's certainly going to be there or thereabouts, but they've got a job to do, and they also still know that with a game to go, they could possibly be, some of them, playing for the places in the starting game against Panama.
De Bruyne to Meunier. Lukaku couldn't bring that under control. I think Romelu Lukaku is only 25 and he's already the record goal scorer for his country. 34 in 68 appearances. How many will he end up scoring? Just at the age of 25 to be the record scorer.
Yeah, absolutely. And with a team like this, with the likes of Hazard and De Bruyne, they've got creativity all over the park to set up those chances for him.
Duarte heads it forward for Costa Rica, who've made 5 changes from the England game, including 2 of the back 3, if you like, come into the side tonight. De Bruyne, right in the centre of midfield, plays a little bit further forward, obviously, when he was with Manchester City, but Roberto Martinez has put him right there in the very heart of the midfield.
He can pull the strings from anywhere, Stuart. You see him here now, he's right, he's inside his own box wanting the ball, but he can hurt you from anywhere.
Lukaku, I think it's going to be important when he's playing up there on his own that Dries Mertens and Eden Hazard get as close to him as possible. I guess De Bruyne as well will push forward from midfield, but he needs to be supported. Yeah,
he will be, and De Bruyne will make it up, so they've got like a diamond. Give problems to the back line of Costa Rica.
Alderweireld, a lot of speculation linking him with a move away from Tottenham. Old Trafford possibly one of his destinations. Injury restricted him to just 21 appearances last season, but it does look as though he's going to be on his way from White Hart Lane.
And if he does, it'll be a big loss to Spurs. I think it's been a fight for them during the season. Are they going to hang on to the manager? Will Dele Alli go? Will Harry Kane go? Will they be cherry-picked away? But I think they all wanted to be there to celebrate getting into this new stadium, and it'll be fabulous.
The veteran Christian Bolaños, the 34-year-old, will take this corner kick. He had a bad ankle injury in March, so speculation he might miss out altogether, but he's back just at the right time for Costa Rica, and he's going to take this corner kick for Los Ticos. Costa Rica. There'll be a threat from set pieces, actually. It comes. He's boxed in a bit there, Courtois. Clear, yeah. Borges got it into the area there.
It's a chance.
And that was just hit by Oscar Duarte, the centre-back. might have done a bit better, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good... I mean, well, there was certainly 2 of them offside, but he wasn't actually, Duarte. We're disappointed he didn't make a better contact with that. Belgium probably slightly fortunate it fell to a centre-half.
Boyata, formerly of Manchester City, to De Bruyne, who is of Manchester City. De Bruyne plays it to Meunier. Meunier gets it back. Worked this well. Hazard, wonderful footwork. Hazard, it's a great challenge.
Brilliant.
Gonzalez had to get that exactly right.
Fabulous football, Stuart. Great football. We saw that in the previous game against Egypt. But here, little 1-2, lovely touch. Great body strength from Hazard, and then weaves his way in, and that was a good tackle. Actually, should be a goal kick, that. Just comes back off Hazard. Brilliant football nonetheless.
Yeah, they got that decision right actually in the end. But wonderful defending from Gonzalez, who plays in Serie A with Bologna. Experienced player. But Meunier seems to be finding a lot of space in the early stages. He's gone for the return here. Got that one wrong.
Yeah, they're already creating problems in the middle of the park with De Bruyne and his ability to pick the ball up and run. And they're backing off. Somebody's got to go to him and engage him, and that's allowing Meunier this sort of freedom down this side.
Away by Keylor Navas, who is a busy man in goal for Costa Rica, the Real Madrid keeper. But for that dodgy fax machine, he would have been a Manchester United goalkeeper, Keylor Navas. Back in 2015, when De Gea was all set to go to Real Madrid, and Navas was coming to Old Trafford. With the greatest of respect, Keylor, thank goodness for a dodgy fax machine. Bolaños is waiting in the centre, but Boyata's clearance is not that convincing. And Urenu was onto it. Maybe he might have made a bit more of it. Now the counter-attack. It goes. Break so quickly. That's going to be a corner. You can already see what a threat they are on the counter-attack.
Yeah, they've got pace. It's impressive that. A mistake by Boyata at first, but they win the ball back, and within the space of 5 or 6 seconds and 3 or 4 passes, they've got a corner.
Mertens is going across to take it. Had a great season for Napoli. 22 goals. Mind you, he had 34 goals the year before that, Dries Mertens. Does tend to play more centrally for Napoli, but excellent player. And he's going to take this corner kick. For Belgium, early stages here at Brussels. Mertens takes. Tongan was lurking at the far post, and it's hacked away. Now Hazard, the captain of Belgium, and they got the winner in the FA Cup final against United at the end of the season. Lukaku turns. Oh, it's gone down. Referee runs away.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see that again. There wasn't too much of an appeal, but there was definitely something there. He got his body, Romelu Lukaku, between. He turned his man. Maybe not. It would have been a soft one. A little bit of a soft one. Oh, a good piece of play from Eden Hazard.
Muscular defending, should we say, from Oscar Duarte. There weren't too many complaints in the end.
You mentioned, Stuart, sorry, earlier that Costa Rica are a threat, but you look at the players that Belgium have got for set pieces and corners, with Witsel and Alderweireld and Lukaku, Boyata, all well over 6 foot, a lot of them.
It's Meunier. Costa Rica in World Cup Group E, which includes the 5-time champions Brazil, the world's 6th best team. Well, that's according to FIFA, Switzerland, and Serbia. Now that is a tough old group.
Very tough. Yeah, very tough.
We're opening up against Serbia on Sunday. Long ball forward, looking for Lukaku. He's closed down very quickly there by Gamboa. Stumbled. Gamboa playing for Celtic these days. Oh, he's barely kicked a ball for Celtic. He's been completely frozen out up in Glasgow. Only 3 appearances last season for Celtic. Had a couple of years with West Brom, and he didn't play too often for them either. So in terms of club football, the last 3 seasons, he's barely played.
Yeah, he can probably consider himself very lucky with having such limited time on the pitch that that his coach has seen fit to pick him.
De Bruyne.
Not like him.
He was frustrated there. Dries Mertens said he couldn't quite bring it under his spell. The Napoli forward.
Just in your picture there, Stuart, it's not a bad front 4, is it? Lukaku, Mertens, De Bruyne and Hazard. They're 4 players that will cause your Brazils, your Argentinas, your France, you know, the best teams, your Germans, real problems.
Axel Witsel in for Fellaini. Got the nod over Fellaini. Now Mertens. Well, Belgium, there's no doubt they've got a squad to win the World Cup, but have they got a team to win the World Cup? Under Mark Wilmot's last time, it just didn't work for them at all. Have they got the team? They certainly have a wonderful squad. Hazard, Mertens. Unfortunately there, that clearance by Duarte shade off his own player.
Yeah, Mertens, he was looking for Lukaku, who'd actually just fallen in behind the defender.
But it struck Yeltsin Tejeda, the midfielder. Clearance from Duarte right in the chops.
Oh, have that.
They're building tough in Costa Rica. Of course, we spoke about how difficult Costa Rica's group is, but goodness me, what a group of death they were in 4 years ago. Uruguay, Italy and England, and they won the group. Beat Uruguay, beat Italy, drew with England, and ended up in the quarter-finals. An amazing story.
It certainly was.
Wow, that's a terrific run. Let's go. Real slaloming run, and his shot took a big deflection. And that's a corner.
Yeah, when you're mentioning these players, you forget about Yannick Carrasco, you forget about Axel Witsel. It's a great little jinking run. Wants to step inside on his right foot.
Of course, Carrasco now plies his trade in China. You think of players at the back end of their career going to China, but I mean, Carrasco's only 24.
Sorry, I'd forgotten he'd gone to China. Yeah, forgotten he'd gone there.
From Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, it seems a strange thing to do that.
Free header for Boyata, and he might have done a little bit better there.
There you go, you see, that's the threat that they do pose. 5 or 6 players on that pitch, Belgium, that, you know, we all talk about the intricate football that we've already seen, but they can go route one as well. Great ball in, and we know in the Premier League how well he delivers a ball, Kevin De Bruyne, from either side with either foot.
Boyata, who played 34 times for Manchester City. Now Ureña's going through the middle. Boyata at the other end does his job very well.
Yeah, just closing him down then. Boyata just managed to stick out a leg.
De Bruyne, wonderful balance. And away he goes. Good attacking options. Meunier wants it played actually towards the far post, but Lukaku gets involved, and now Tejeda. Down the line. Boa, Bolaños waits in the centre. The ball. Ureña was going to do an acrobatic volley there, but just taken away from him. Game quite stretched as Yannick Carrasco has got the whole of that left wing to run up. Across comes Acosta. Lovely ball to Hazard, and of all the players you wouldn't expect to take his eye off the ball, it's Eden Hazard. Because Lukaku was waiting in the centre. Hazard. Did that come back off him?
Unless it was already over the line, it definitely came back off him, though.
86th cap for Eden Hazard. He was very good in the qualifying campaign. He scored 6 and assisted 5 in the qualifying campaign.
He didn't quite execute it as well as Wayne Rooney or Gareth Bale.
Yes, that was a kind of pound shot, Gareth Bale, wasn't it? That one. De Bruyne. Well, Lukaku coming in just over his head. Flag went up though. It was pretty late actually, that flag.
Great spot though from De Bruyne. Great spot. Doesn't need to beat anyone. Yeah, he's just off. Oh, what a ball.
Lukaku, 27 goals and 51 appearances in his first season at Old Trafford. Picked up that injury right at the end of the season, but okay now. Brian Ruiz these days playing for Sporting Lisbon in Portugal. 4 years he spent at Fulham. We were talking about the World Cup last time out. He got the winner, I remember, against Italy.
He was the best player against England as well.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
frankly, that wouldn't have been that hard, would it?
He was tremendous. Great ball. Oh.
Timed that well, Keylor Navas.
Dries Mertens just running in off that left-hand side. Fullbacks hate that. Wide centre-halves, I should say. Defenders in general, they don't like it when wingers make inside runs like that. Diagonally towards the goal, difficult to defend.
To Hayden. Best ball. Turned over possession. For this Belgium side, who are 18 games unbeaten, 13 wins, 5 draws. Their last defeat came against Spain in September of 2016, so they are on a roll. In fairness, they didn't have the most testing qualifying group, you have to say, but you've got to get the job done. They got the job done, and they were in fact the first European team to qualify for the World Cup. They're in wonderful form. Meunier quite enjoyed that. But in fairness to Duarte, came across with his bus.
I actually spoke, Stuart. United was part of a team that went down to a testimonial last summer to Swansea, and I spoke with Roberto Martinez, and he was very, very confident about the team that he's got here. Very confident.
Wonderful work again by Hazard. Lukaku. Still Lukaku trying to bulldoze his way through. Press high and win the ball back, and that's exactly what they've done again. Witsel. Another corner for Belgium, the third best team in the world in the FIFA rankings. Costa Rica 23.
You can actually see why Belgium have got to that lofty status. Some of the players they've got, and certainly when they're playing like this, free-flowing and creative, easy to see.
Goodness me, a bit of pushing going on there. Brian Ruiz and Toby Alderweireld. He does look like the sort of player you wouldn't necessarily mess with. Referee comes across to try and sort out these handbags. And De Bruyne will take the corner. Remember, there was that free header from Boyata last time out. Came pretty close. And another header, this time from Vertonghen coming in, just to get the wrong connection perhaps.
Yeah. Again, looking really dead. Those out-swinging corners with pace. Accurate as well. It was a tough one.
Yeah.
It was a tough one. He had to rotate quite a lot. He had a player in front of him.
Vertonghen, who is Belgium's all-time record appearance maker. This is 102nd cap for the Tottenham man.
And he's probably got another tournament in him.
Well, Vertonghen's what, 31, so yeah.
Well, maybe another 2 tournaments.
This Duarte, who faced United a couple of years ago, he was in the Bruges team in the Champions League playoff, you might remember, a few years ago.
I do, yeah, I do.
Dries Mertens. Comes hard-working Keylor Navas. Navas, who's won 3 Champions Leagues and 3 Club World Cups at Real Madrid after replacing Iker Casillas as the #1.
Not bad record. to them in the World Cup. Because on this evidence, Costa Rica are not going to recapture the same form that they showed in 2014 in Brazil. I know this is only a friendly, and I know Belgium are a very good side, but it's difficult to see where their goals are going to come from.
Axel Witsel is also playing in China these days. To De Bruyne. There's Hazard. Difficult to pick up. He's playing in that hole. Witsel finds Meunier. Clever little flick there, Hazard. Gets it back again. The captain. Lovely ball in. Lukaku! Flags up again. But I'll tell you what, Keylor Navas wasn't to know that.
I told you it'd be important. That was hell of a save. And like you said, Stuart, he didn't know that. It's just instinctive for a goalkeeper. He is right, he is offside.
What a... That's great ball. That is De Gea-esque, isn't it?
It's a great ball. It's a great save. And he didn't do a lot wrong either, Lukaku. He was stretching for it. He did well to make the good contact with it. It's a super save.
He wasn't too sure about that, was he? Yes. They'll gratefully accept that. Costa Rica have come under great pressure in the opening 20 minutes of this friendly. Forward by Johnny Acosta up the line. The problem is it just keeps coming back.
Exactly, and it'll be quite warm out there as well, Stuart, on that pitch, as we know, and it's a lot easier when you've got the ball. You don't feel the effects quite as much as if you're chasing it. On the pitch side it is, down on pitch side it's always warmer.
Carrasco's ball in, but he's overhit that, but it's a little awkward down for the back-pedalling Navas. Costa Rica, who became just the third country ever from the CONCACAF region to reach the quarter-finals of the World Cup, which they did 4 years ago. Really unprecedented in Central American football history. It was a remarkable game against Louis van Gaal's Holland. Remember, it was 0-0, and then after 121 minutes, Van Gaal took off his goalkeeper Jesper Cillessen, brought on Tim Krul. And you either think that's a masterstroke or he's gone mad. And Krul came on, made 2 saves in a penalty shootout, and Holland went through to the semi-finals. That's a brave bit of management. He got it spot on.
He did. I remember the game, but I didn't realise it was Costa Rica that were involved in it. But I do remember raising my eyebrows as to why a manager would do that. But obviously, he's a penalty saver, Tim Krul.
That's going to be a throw into Costa Rica, right in front of Roberto Martinez. It's going to be interesting to see whether Company and Vermaelen, or Company or Vermaelen, do make it for the World Cup. Martinez said he's going to give them until 24 hours before the Panama game, which is a week today. Simon is the player who's on standby. He started the last friendly. I'm sure we might see him later on, Laurent Simon. Company is like posting fitness videos saying, yeah, I'm ready, no problem. But I suppose it is a gamble, but he's such an important player, isn't he?
Yeah, and he'll do everything that he can. It's a miss kick. Boyata. It was definitely a weak link for Belgium. They have to have one of those 2 centre-halves back, because he's got a mistake in him.
Witsel. Dries Mertens. Meunier yet again. Meunier, who's meant for Lukaku but played behind the Manchester United striker and smashed up the line by Christian Gamboa.
I don't know why he did that. Could have just let that ball run out, give himself a breather. Instead he just hammers the ball downfield aimlessly, and Belgium have possession back.
Axel Witsel, who spent a long time with Zenit, before making the lucrative move to China. Lukaku's in, can't get a touch on it.
So clever, the way they just glide it round the back.
Bolaños to Borges with his 111th cap. Celso Borges of Deportivo La Coruña. Such an important player in the heart of midfield. Here he is again, Celso Borges. Flips that one up. Tongan away to the edge of the area. The shot for Ruiz, brilliant strike! Brian Ruiz, the captain of Costa Rica, gives them the lead here. Belgium have absolutely dominated the first 24 minutes, but Ruiz with some real class makes it Belgium 0, Costa Rica 1.
Well, we've seen him do it before in World Cups, and all right, I bet he's probably wishing that this was fast forward in a week. But let's make no mistakes, a clever little ball this, and it had Vertonghen struggling back. It's the only thing he could do, and it's one of the most difficult skills in football. Ask anybody. When it's dropping out the sky, right down on top of you, and he kept his eye on it, kept his head over it, and delivered the perfect contact into the bottom corner. Thibaut Courtois, his outstretched left hand, watches it all the way. That is a super strike from Brian Ruiz. Like I said, not the first time we've seen him do it against big teams, but he'll take that all day long.
Brian Ruiz, his 24th international goal for Costa Rica, and it gives his country the lead against the odds, you have to say, because Belgium have been dominant here.
Super strike, and that's what they'll be reliant upon. The brilliance of Keylor Navas at one end and experience of Brian Ruiz the other.
Well, that was muscular, shall we say, from Gonzalez, who's going to get a lecture from Mr. Hattigan.
He's all right, he's tough.
So De Bruyne, whose delivery from set pieces is sometimes so difficult to defend against. The in-swingers, and Ruiz will try and sort things out. Defenders back there. De Bruyne waits big men in the box. De Bruyne of Manchester City. And he'd pick out a yellow-shirted teammate. Or is he going to try and sneak one towards goal with the goalkeeper way over to the right of his goal?
It's well within his capabilities, Stuart, there's no question. I don't think he will, but he's well within his capabilities.
Well, we gave him a big build-up and he basically shanked it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not one of his best deliveries.
Bruyne, had a great season for City, 51 appearances for City last year, 12 goals. Look, if it wasn't for Mo Salah, he probably would have won every award going.
Most probably.
Plenty of possession for Belgium, but it's Costa Rica who lead, and this is their game plan, really, isn't it?
It has to be. They know that. Oh, that's a tight one. And I think he's not going to change his mind, the official, but I thought he just got away with that.
Costa Rica lead. Just joined Brian Ruiz with a fine volley from the edge of the area after Belgium domination. Although in fairness, domination, but Keylor now, it's not like Navas has been making great save after great save, but it's just been the overall pattern of play. Bruyne, Dedrick Boyata to Toby Alderweireld. It's gone long, and Lukaku runs the channel. Hazard, puffing up everywhere. Meunier. De Bruyne. Now Hazard. Mertens with the shot, palmed away by Navas. It was back into traffic, but nobody in a yellow shirt could get a touch.
No, I think he probably might have been better, Dries Mertens, certainly with the position of Romelu Lukaku, just to, instead of going for the power, just to try and just chip it, just to get the goalkeeper off balance to the back post. It's easier said than done when you're in that position. Your eyes light up.
Alderweireld. Boyata. Hazard. Alderweireld. Witzel. Boyata. The Tongan. Carrasco. Costa Rica are content for you to have the ball here, but you look at the line of defenders in front of the Belgium attackers. Hazard, first one. He did well to keep his foot in there, in fairness. Wins the free kick. Foul from Yeltsin to Hayder, but again, it's come to nothing. Belgium still have it. Dangerous ball in, but just too much on it. Can Hazard keep it in? He can't.
It's a decent ball in that from the Tongan. Just here. But it just dinked it, you see. Well, Lukaku was there at the back post. Keeper's come near. Just a little clip. Lukaku would have been able to win that and heading it into an empty net.
Belgium were keen to play Costa Rica because they start their World Cup campaign against Panama a week today, and I think the thinking was that Costa Rica are kind of similar to Panama in the way that they play. Then they play Tunisia and then of course England in the final group game. And in theory, the ideal scenario is both teams are through for that game on the 28th of June and we don't have to go into it with any concerns, but often football doesn't quite work out like that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Witzel.
That's what you're going to love about these competitions, Stuart. Every single time either a Euros comes along or a World Cup, you get a surprise package.
And Lukaku, he's onside this time. Lukaku waits for a bit of support. Lukaku, headed out as far as Eden Hazard. Hazard shot, mishit it, but Mertens scores, and Belgium are level. Dries Mertens couldn't miss from there. Hazard will say it was a perfect pass. Might well have been a miss hit. They won't worry. 1-1.
Yeah, it was a definite shot from Hazard. Otherwise, why not elect to pass to? I can't remember who it was outside of him. But Dries Mertens was alive at the back post. We see it now. Definitely onside. Romelu Lukaku. And his cross is initially cleared. And when it comes back out to Eden Hazard, he goes one way. Elects not to pass to Kevin De Bruyne. Definitely onside, Dries Mertens, as the Costa Rican backline stands to admire Eden Hazard.
Was that a piercing through ball or a shot?
No, it was a shot, there's no question about it, but fair play to Dries Mertens, he was alive to it, and he won't score an easier tap-in than that.
That's his 14th goal in international football, Dries Mertens. Boyata just guards that one out, the pressure from Marco Ureña, who's just fed on scraps. Marco Ureña up front. There's Oscar Ramirez, the head coach of Costa Rica, who was actually part of the squad at Italia 90. He got through to the knockout stages. Now the manager. What balance, Eden Hazard. Options left and right. He finds Lukaku onto his left foot. Lukaku, terrific save. Hazard on the rebound. Hazard's. And again, Eden Hazard. White to Meunier. Hazard. Gives me the clinging on here. Costa Rica, Carrasco shot, and that can break the arms of Keylor Navas.
Brilliant break. Great break. He's pretty much behind everything good that Belgium are doing out there this evening. Touch here. Perfect. Didn't really trouble Navas in the Costa Rican goal. Certainly not a man of his calibre, and it wasn't a well-hit shot, but well, he's down.
Now this is a concern, grave concern. Costa Rica is hard. What? Not see what happened there.
Has he got a bit of a nosebleed?
Looks like it, doesn't it? Oscar Ramirez having a chat with his centre forward Marco Renia. Won't want to lose Navas. This was maybe it just smashed him in the face, this from Lukaku.
It did, yeah. Oh, it did. Yeah, it did. It was a great touch from Romelu Lukaku because he was just slightly behind him. I thought he actually played the ball a little bit too late, heading Hazard. It was a wonderful touch to drag it onto his left foot. It's a good save in the end.
There's the cure for a nosebleed. Just pour some water over your
yeah,
face.
It'll be all right.
1-1. Decent friendly here.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining game.
Brian Ruiz for Costa Rica. Dries Mertens with the equaliser for Belgium. It certainly deserved, you'd have to say. This was Lukaku, got some power behind this. Well, just got to keep it out whatever way you can.
Yeah.
Belgium, who had rather a limp exit in the Euros when they were beaten by Wales in the quarterfinals. Remember that 2 years ago? And then in 2014 they were beaten by Argentina 1-0 in the quarterfinals after winning their group. They squeezed past the USA in the last 16 and then lost to Argentina. Quarterfinals, you'd say, minimum requirement for Belgium and maybe beyond if you look at the quality in the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think that along with England, they will qualify out of the group. Obviously, I think it's going to go down to the last game to see who gets through as group winners, but I fully expect Belgium to, like you said, Stuart, quarter-final and beyond.
This is going to drop for Hazard. And De Bruyne. Well, they're attacking from all angles. Belgium got a corner. Inside the final 10 of an engaging first half in Brussels. A bit of defending actually from Teheda.
Yeah, it was.
Hazard go either way. On the outside, got it wrong in the end. Nightmare to defend against.
Yeah, they're just the three of them really in Mertens, De Bruyne, and especially tonight Hazard. They're just so fluid. And you know, they're popping up all over the place. They're running with the ball. They're getting into positions where Costa Rica don't know whether they're coming or going.
De Bruyne, free header, flags up again. Well, Vertonghen can't believe that. He'd say the linesman has the best view, but it wasn't that opportunity. It was the actual free header which probably should have found the net straight away.
Yeah.
Boyata goes up. Vertonghen scores from close range.
Yeah, he was offside, but Boyata, it shouldn't have even come to that. Boyata had a clear header, like you said, Stuart, and he should have scored there. And we've seen signs of it, albeit from this near side.
Well, you mentioned earlier on what a threat Belgium will be from set pieces, and that certainly proved to be.
Yeah, especially when you've got the delivery of Kevin De Bruyne or an Eden Hazard on a sixpence.
This is setting us up nicely for the World Cup. Got my wall chart today, ready to go.
Yeah?
Oh yeah,
I could do it one minute. Where'd you get that from?
Oh, multiple outlets. 4 games on Saturday, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, 11 o'clock start.
So let's have a look at this. There's the header from Boyata. Now, is he off there, Tongan? It's so tight.
No, as far as I can see, Borges, I think, was playing him on. Yeah, Borges was playing him on, I think. I mean, it doesn't matter. It could matter in a week's time, but it doesn't matter now.
He has done pretty well. Dries Mertens again. A little bit unfortunate there. Doesn't have that goal ruled out. But of course, in the World Cup, our friend VAR might come into play.
Oh, Boyata should have scored anyway.
Costa Rica will be delighted that it's only 1-1 here, even though they took the lead, but the overall pattern of play, Belgium should be ahead. They're going to be a serious match for anybody in this World Cup.
If they play like this, they are. Costa Rica will be delighted if they can go in at half-time level.
Borges there with the foul. Speculation about Hazard's future. A lot of speculation about everybody's future at Chelsea. Meunier's ball in. He's waiting to see what happens to the management situation before he decides his own future. I'm sure Real Madrid would be interested. Anybody would be interested, wouldn't they? 300 appearances for Chelsea. Meunier. De Bruyne. Hazard. Lovely Lukaku! Offside.
He just needs to be careful, Lukaku, because he's certainly getting the service. And he's that good from De Bruyne and from Hazard that he doesn't need to be offside. And in this instant, he certainly is. And he's looking right the way across the line. He can see that he's the wrong side of the last man. And if he just keeps himself level, like I said, the balls that Kevin De Bruyne has put in already are that good and that accurate. He'll just be scoring tap-ins.
It's also Borges over to Oviedo. I've seen a great deal of Brian Oviedo, certainly from an attacking point of view in this first half.
It's been very difficult for them.
Oviedo, who's gone through 2 relegations with Sunderland in the last couple of years. Ruiz gave Costa Rica the lead. That's one for Bolaños to run onto. Back comes Carrasco. Hazard loses position, gets crowded out high up the field. Johnny Acosta. Tongan thrashes it clear up towards Lukaku. Can he get Belgium moving now in the closing stages of this first half? It's De Bruyne. Nice ball. Plays in Dries Mertens. Mertens. Lukaku! Wonderful finish. End to end from Belgium. Lethal Lukaku. And they've come from behind to lead 2-1.
Well, they're finishing the game, like we mentioned, they started it, Stuart. Just 3 or 4 passes. It all starts with Jan Vertonghen not just content with hitting the ball clear, but actually finding Romelu Lukaku with a wonderful pass from virtually inside his own box. And he lays it off to De Bruyne, who straight into the path of Dries Mertens. I love this one, the wrap around, just wrap the foot around the ball and whiz it in. And that is a brilliant finish on his weaker foot, it has to be said, from Lukaku, but he just held his movement and kept it down, and it actually came off his shin, but he won't care. That is a really, really good finish from Romelu Lukaku and a really good goal, from one goal to the other in the space of a few seconds.
Even the bench like that, Batshuayi.
And Dembele, who I think is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, and he isn't playing and doesn't look like he will do.
You're not calling that a shin, are you? Like Wayne Rooney's overhead kick?
No, no, not at all. But if you do see it again, it did actually come off his shin, but it was controlled, and like I said, with it being on his weaker foot, he'll be really, really pleased with that. It was a really good finish, but a great ball.
His 35th international goal, and this is 69th cap for Romelu Lukaku. It was a great move. They summed up Belgium, I think.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. They are actually a joy to watch. when they play like this.
I was quite optimistic about England's chance in this World Cup before watching this first 45 minutes, and
the good thing about that game will be it'll be like a high-profile Premier League game.
yes. Munier, who's looked a threat as well, down the right-hand side. Oliveira to Dedrick Boyata. Bear in mind, Costa Rica took the lead in this first half, but this is a bit more like the scoreline.
Reflecting on how the game's gone, definitely, Stuart.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Eden Hazard. Oh dear, that's a bucket. Assaulted by Giancarlo Gonzalez. That's the only way of stopping him. And that's a yellow.
Well, once he gets away from you and he turns you like that, he gets you on the wrong foot, and he is so fleet-footed and quick at running with the ball, and he's got a low centre of gravity because he's not very tall. And once he gets away from you, that's the only way you can stop him. Look at how low to the ground he is. Fantastic at running with the ball, and so difficult to knock him off balance and to stop him.
It was just frustration really from Gonzalez. It was just like, oh, yeah, been painful really for Costa Rica's defenders. Had so much work to do in this first 45 minutes. Could get worse for them here, and De Bruyne will take the free kick. Final minutes of this first half. Been an engaging friendly here. De Bruyne. Oh, fooled everybody, including the cameraman. De Bruyne again, and that's going to be a corner to end the half. He's done with the cameraman now.
Yeah,
De Bruyne with that. And De Bruyne is going across to take it. Popping up everywhere, isn't it?
I'm actually hoping that they don't make too many changes in the second half, because they've been great to watch. I'm really enjoying watching the free-flowing football and the skill of Hazard and Mertens and De Bruyne.
Well, De Bruyne is going to take this corner. In it comes, and headed away by Borges. I don't think we'll play a great deal of stoppage time, just a couple of minutes. De Bruyne. I mean, we'll definitely see changes, because the manager himself said we're going to see Dendoncker and Tielemans at the very least. The two who faced United last year for Anderlecht, actually, in the Europa League. They haven't played in any of these friendlies to give them a bit of match action. If you were Roberto Martinez, you'd be taking off Hazard, you'd be taking off De Bruyne. Why risk it?
Yeah. I was just being selfish when I said I didn't want to make any changes, but I absolutely understand his reasoning.
De Bruyne again. That's good. De Bruyne turns and shoots. Got hold of that. Axel Witsel. Dries Mertens, it was a appeal for handball. It would have been a bit of a harsh one. Free kick given.
He was far too close to it.
Just turned away, Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Keylor Navas then clears. Half-time. Belgium having to come many changes.
Yeah, he can just take the momentum out of it, and it can just has a tendency to go a little bit flat, especially the way Belgium performed in the first half. They were, I keep referring to it, they were superb to watch. Great free-flowing football, movement, pace, accuracy of passing, great crosses, chances created. You name it, anything that a manager wants to see in his football team, whether it's at club level or international level, and Belgium have done just that in the first half, and you really want to see it continue, but you do understand his reasoning for making changes.
Well, a couple of changes for Costa Rica, just the one for Belgium. As you saw Chadley coming on for Carrasco. Ureña's gone off at half-time. The centre forward, he didn't have a huge amount to do, and I didn't have a lot of service. Venegas will try his luck. And Oviedo taken off as well for Francisco Calvo, who will replace him. See what sort of difference it makes. What we will see, definitely see Dendoncker in this second half, and also Yuri Tielemans at some point. And there is Chadley of West Brom, relegated of course with West Brom, but he only made 2 Premier League starts last season, a badly injury affected season, but you wonder where he'll end up next year.
Yeah, he's a very talented footballer, Chadley, blighted by injury in this last 12 months or so. I'm sure if he'd maybe been fit for more of West Brom's campaign, he might have been with a better chance of survival.
Hazard was trying to poke that one through for Dries Mertens, who impressed in the first 45. Actually, everybody impressed, didn't they, in the first 45 for Belgium. Ruiz, whose goal did give Costa Rica a shock lead. Throwing right in front of Oscar Ramirez, the Costa Rica head coach. Throw from Gamboa. Roberto Martinez, who replaced Mark Wilmots in 2016. This is his 20th game in charge. 13 wins, 5 draws, 1 defeat. The only defeat coming against Spain in his first game. Must be great for a manager, though, to have such a selection of gifted players to choose from. Foremost amongst them, there, De Bruyne. Throw. That's a Chadley, former Spurs player.
So he's come on for Mounier, because Carrasco's still on the field.
Carrasco's still playing at left wing back.
Yeah.
Chadley slotted onto the right hand side. Across comes Gonzalez. Johnny Acosta to Gonzalez. Got a yellow in that first half. Flag stays down there.
Yeah.
As Venegas runs through the middle.
It's an interesting one, because he looked like he was a good 4 or 5 yards in front of the last defender.
I think a bit more pace about Johan Venegas than Ureña. Courtois clears. Work from Tejeda. Flag is up. There's a referee, Mr. Hattigan, who I think it's fair to say won't be having his holidays in Belfast this year. He was the referee who awarded that controversial penalty to Switzerland in the World Cup playoff against Northern Ireland for handball, or supposed handball.
Yeah, yeah.
De Bruyne. Chadley. Nice ball across. Lukaku coming in. What a header. A towering header from the Manchester United striker. He's got 2. Belgium have got 3. They lead 3-1.
Yeah, and again, he's in the right place at the right time, Lukaku, but the ball makes it. We saw the ball in the first half that Dries Mertens put in, and he just guided his volley into the roof of the net. Well, here again, the spin on the ball is just perfect for somebody like Romelu Lukaku, because he's unstoppable in these situations. He's not going to get the ball in, it's just there, and he just, like you said, Stuart, he just powers his header, and once he's on the move and he's running for something, then nothing's going to get in his way, and that is a bullet of a header right in the corner of the net. Unstoppable. Great goal. Another one.
Try saving that. And well, that's the end for Dries Mertens, who's been really good in this game. Scored 1, set up 1. It lasted 6 minutes. And Michy Batshuayi comes on. He must have feared he might miss this World Cup because he got injured on loan at Dortmund, an ankle injury, close to the end of the season, but he's okay. See that header again. That sure he did very well actually on loan at Dortmund. Clearly wasn't fancied by the Chelsea manager. Batshuayi got 9 goals in 14 appearances on loan at Dortmund before picking up that ankle injury. But he's not a bad sub, is he, to come on, Batshuayi?
Not at all.
And well there, Gamboa. Vanegas. So he's going to play just over to the right, Batshuayi. You see De Bruyne now pushing almost at the number 10. Concern, little injury. Yeah, concern there.
Top of the hamstring.
That is the great fear when you're playing a game so close to the start of the World Cup.
Well, you pull a muscle at this stage, Stuart, and you're out. Simple as that. You're out, because a muscle injury is at least 10 days to 2 weeks.
Well, when I saw him coming off, I thought, well, that's very early in the second, 6 minutes to be coming off. You thought it must. Why is he coming off? Well, that's why he came off. Another little concern here as well.
Carrasco. Bit of a forearm to the side of the head.
Gamboa coming in.
Whack, there you go. There was no use of the elbow, there was no malice in it, it was just a good strong challenge, and Carrasco was backing in, which made the impact worse.
Carrasco, the former Monaco and Atletico Madrid player. Remember, he scored in the Champions League final for Atletico Madrid. Chadley, lovely ball, and what about that for a header from Romelu Lukaku, who's in scintillating goal-scoring form. 36th international goal for Big Rom. Fans enjoying it. They'd sold, as of yesterday, just under 30,000 tickets for the King Baldwin Stadium, which has a capacity of about 50,000. Not a bad turnout for a friendly here at the stadium, which used to be the Heysel Stadium, but it was completely rebuilt after the disaster 1985.
Yeah, iconic for all the wrong reasons.
Johnny Acosta puts it back to Navas.
Anybody who's turned out tonight, Stuart, they won't be sorry they did it, because they've been treated.
Hazard, Lukaku. Not a hat-trick now, of course, but I'm sure at some point the manager will want to get him off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing to think Lukaku actually scored 11 goals in the qualifying campaign. And that qualifying campaign for Belgium, they scored 43 in Group H of World Cup qualification. Now 15 of them were against Gibraltar, in fairness, but 43 goals scored in qualification is some record. David Guzman, midfielder, waits to come on for Costa Rica. Yeah, their record was 9 wins, 1 draw, scored 43, conceded 6.
Very, very good record.
And in fairness, they weren't in with the giants of European football. They had Greece, Bosnia, Estonia, Cyprus and Gibraltar. But you've got to put them to the sword, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, you have. Bosnia can't be an easy place to go and play football. Notoriously hostile, the crowds in that part of the world for European football, difficult to play, whistling and the like.
De Bruyne. Hazard. Carrasco. De Bruyne, shooting chance. De Bruyne! It's Expected the net to bulge there.
You did. You did. Lovely pullback from Carrasco. And he just got it caught a little bit under his feet. Kevin De Bruyne, he just had to dig it out. He still got a really good strike on it, but I think that just put him off that little bit. He's so used to him striking the ball so well, so cleanly with either foot. You were expecting the net to bulge.
Trying to put the mockers on it here, but it does look as though the goal scoring's not over here. No. Back Schwei. Who Conte just didn't seem to fancy at all at Chelsea. His record at Chelsea is 19 goals in 53 appearances, but often, actually always as a sub. Hazard.
Oh, tackle.
Witsel. De Bruyne. Witsel. Eden Hazard. Axel Witsel. De Bruyne. Well, Alex Ferguson used to say against Barcelona, you were on the passing carousel, and it's a bit like that with this Belgian side.
Yeah, they're all very comfortable.
De Vireld. Oh, De Bruyne wins it back. He robs De Gea.
Well, that was a foul.
Gorgeous.
He didn't do it.
Boyata. Stayed strong.
Just those situations though, Stuart, where he's one-on-one, you never really feel confident that he's going to do the right thing, or he's not going to slip or underhit a back pass.
Chadley. Here's Lukaku on a hat-trick now for his country. Lukaku, strong play. He wanted it onto his left foot. Yeah. Johnny Acosta can clear. The veteran defender, 34, Johnny Acosta. Now Brian Ruiz, bit of possession for Costa Rica. Ruiz. They need to do a little better than that.
Yeah. They've been overwhelmed, really. It was a super goal from Brian Ruiz, but that's really all you can say about Costa Rica. The one superb save that Keylor Navas made in the first half was actually offside.
Back Schwei to Lukaku. There's just a little hobble there actually from Lukaku. He just got a kick as he tried to go through. Courtois, who has had nothing to do apart from picking the ball out of net.
Nothing at all.
Courtois actually replaced David De Gea at Atletico Madrid, where he spent 3 very successful seasons on loan.
You can half see these changes coming now, Stuart, can't you? With the hour mark gone, there might be a flurry from both sides.
You see Guzman's been waiting ages to come on, waiting for a break in play. Witsel. It might be one of those rare games where you're quite happy not to come on, because it means that you're not going to have any sort of a problem going to the World Cup. Carrasco. Witsel. Hazard. That's Schwei. Hazard. Foot in from Johnny Acosta, and Borges. It's not the place to lose it though. De Vireld. Is Jan Carrasco. Hazard. Alderweireld. He's gone for the return, the defender. Useful ball in as well. Just a little bit too much on it. You can see that Hazard just shoves Carrasco off the ball there. Witsel shot. Got a bit excited there, but that was funny, wasn't it? It was like Hazard saying, just go away and leave it to me.
Like the kid in the school playground who's the best player. Move out of the way, this is mine.
So there's Guzman of the Portland Timbers, the MLS, who's coming on for Bolanos, who's had very little change tonight. David Guzman will replace him. Just to try and stiffen up the midfield area. So Bolaños was in theory an attacking player. David Guzman, not really. And you can see a change coming for Belgium as well, and as I've mentioned before, there's Den Donker of Anderlecht, who you might remember actually scored against United in the Europa League last year, a very late equaliser in Brussels, a game the United dominated, and Den Donker right at the end with a header. He's about to come on to win his 5th cap. What a time to come on as well when you're 3-1 up and playing some delightful stuff.
Yeah.
Who makes way, I wonder? I'd be taking De Bruyne off right now.
It'd be one of the two of them, either him or Hazard. Those two are definitely going to be the talisman that the rest of the team are going to look up to for all the creativity, for the goals, as well as Romelu Lukaku. He can't be shouldering all the burden on scoring goals.
Boot there, didn't he, from Gamboa?
And that's the other worry as well for managers. Costa Rica getting a little bit frustrated at not seeing any of the ball, not having any meaningful possession. And just really having the mickey taken out of them by a very, very good Belgian side, it has to be said.
One for Lukaku to chase. Johnny Acosta kept his eye on that, but it's only out as far as Carrasco. Batshuayi gets it back from Lukaku. Gonzalez will clear. Struggling to get out of their own half.
Yeah.
Costa Rica.
Doesn't help.
Hazard. Wonderful. Hazard taking the direct route.
Brilliant.
Lukaku for the hat-trick. Pulls it across the Batshuayi, who scores. So unselfish from Romelu Lukaku. You thought he'd pull the trigger for the hat-trick. Instead, he plays in his strike partner, Michy Batshuayi, and this is done and dusted. Belgium have 4.
Absolutely superb to watch. Hazard, lovely little nutmeg to set the move going, and you always knew where it was going. What you didn't bank on was on a hat-trick. Romelu Lukaku opts to pass it, and it was a really, really good piece of vision to spot Batshuayi at the back post. Nobody could have faulted him for having a go himself, but just look at that, it's brilliant. Again, body swerve, change of direction, and that is a really, really clever pass from Romelu Lukaku. Let me tell you, he meant that all the way. And like I said, nobody could have faulted him for trying to get his hat-trick, but that is another wonderful team goal, and Hazard at the heart of it once more.
The end of Romelu Lukaku, who's had a brilliant night, and he's being replaced by a defensive midfielder in Den Donker, which might well mean a little change of approach. And then we're also going to get another Hazard on the field as well. Thorgan Hazard, the younger brother, and he's going to replace Boyata. So a change of shape, perhaps. And also see the end of Gamboa, who's going to be replaced by Ian Smith, the youngest player in the squad. He's only 20, Ian Smith. He's coming on at right back for Gamboa. Brian Ruiz replaced by Joel Campbell, who still belongs to Arsenal despite the fact that since joining in 2011 he's actually only played 23 times for them. He's been on loan to 5 different clubs, Joel Campbell, but he's still an Arsenal player, so I suppose you never know. New Arsenal manager might take a look at him. And now we've got not one but two Hazards on the field.
It seems very strange that he's played for so many different clubs and yet he can't quite get close to the Arsenal side, yet he hasn't actually been sold to any one of these clubs that he's been on loan to, or someone else.
Well, he was playing on loan at Betis in Spain last year, although he got a lot of injuries. I remember he scored against United for Olympiacos on loan a few years ago.
I remember that too.
What was not a good night. There's Ian Smith. He plays in Norway, actually. I say he's 20, but this is the second oldest squad in the World Cup, so he's by far the youngest player in the squad. A few of those players out there will be feeling their legs tonight. They've had to do a lot of running and a lot of chasing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they certainly have. They certainly have.
Hazard, you can see that Michy Batshuayi there is going right through the middle. Hazard once again chopped down.
That's what I'm talking about, the frustration, just little, these are the little innocuous fouls that can sometimes cause a great deal of damage. Acosta there, he knew what he was doing and he just hacked at Eden Hazard's ankle.
You know what it's like when you're playing somebody who's so richly gifted.
Yeah, like that you mean.
Hazard onto this, but that's a really good last-ditch challenge.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're playing somebody who's so much better than you, the only thing you can do is, frankly, go through them.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you can try and match them for work rate, but when you've got a team that are as clever and as skillful and as pacey and accurate as we've seen Belgium for 3/4 of this game, very, very difficult, not just for Costa Rica, Stuart, but for some of the top teams that we're going to see in that World Cup. They will not fancy coming up against Belgium, and that includes us, obviously.
Shots on target, there you go, 8-1.
He's off again.
Batshuayi making ground in the centre. Dorgan Hazard was in there as well.
Limping.
Oh my goodness.
I thought I saw him limping.
Why is he still on the field?
He's coming off.
Not a bad sub. The richly gifted Moussa Dembele is going to come on. There's Hazard Jr. He learned that from his older brother. But there was no pulling out with that challenge, was there? Hopefully it's nothing too bad.
Looked like he was perhaps caught on a follow through. It's nothing it's a kick. It's external. It's not a problem.
Well, I hope not, because you want to see the best players of the World Cup.
You do, and I'm sure that you will see him. I think he would be. He seems like a very emotional character, Eden Hazard, and I think you would be able to tell by the look on his face if he thought there was any chance that what had just happened was going to rule him out. I think he's just saying that as a precaution, and I'm sure that Roberto Martinez would have taken him off anyway in the not too distant future, and now he's got a reason to.
So Dembele getting a word from Axel Witsel. Really good player, Dembele. This is his 76th cap for Belgium. And De Bruyne, another fine performance from the City man. He's had 70 minutes. Can wrap him up in cotton wool for the World Cup. And another clever player, Tielemans, coming on, who was in the Anderlecht side United faced last year, but his form for Anderlecht earned him a move to Monaco. Just had his first season at Monaco as Belgium have this corner kick. Witsel. I suppose the difference at Monaco, and he scored 1 goal for Monaco last year. He scored 18 in his final year with Anderlecht, so slight difference there. Just getting to grips with life in the French league. But there was a bit of hype about Yuri Tielemans around the time they faced United, and everyone seemed to think he was going to make the big move. just seems to be a production line of talent in Belgium. Tom Dembele, who, when United were beaten by Spurs in the league in January, he was absolutely sensational on the night at Wembley.
Yeah, I was there, Stuart. I was there in my capacity as a Man United fan. Missed the first goal after 11 seconds because of the tubes weren't great. And I tell you what, if ever a game was dominated from start to finish that I've ever seen, disappointingly, from my point of view, it was our point of view, it was that one. They were outstanding, Spurs, and like you said, yeah, Mr. Dembele at the heart of everything they did that was good, him and Eriksen.
Carrasco. Dembele. Witsel. Are we going to see Fellaini later on in the game? I wonder. Hazard looking for Batshuayi. Joel Campbell.
Nice play.
Did well.
Yeah.
Now is Ian Smith. Borges. Campbell. Borges. Well, possession at least. Chance for a breather for the overworked Costa Rica players. Worth reminding yourselves of Costa Rica as well. This is a country of fewer than 5 million people, so that achievement, getting to the quarter-finals of the last World Cup, amazing. And qualifying with some ease for this World Cup, a great achievement.
Yeah.
The team is probably a little bit too reliant on domestic-based players and sort of MLS talent, but reaching the World Cup is a fine achievement. It's going to be Hazard Jr. He's going to take this corner. Imagine having a brother who's so much better than you.
It's great for them both to be in the same national side, though, I'm sure.
Hazard, deep one. The header was goal-bound, at the very least, from Leander Dendoncker. Dealt with by Navas. Chadley did well there. Guzman. Tejeda. Acosta. Flag up.
I'm not so sure it was the first time that ball was played.
Another change. Randall Asofefa, 33-year-old, is coming on for the last 15. And Borges makes way. Two very experienced players. Asofefa. Plays his football in Costa Rica, but he's played in Belgium, he's played in Turkey. Dembele does that sort of thing very well. He just glides past players.
Yeah. Uses his strength. Always wants to go on the left-hand side, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Witsel. Where would you put Belgium then in the list of World Cup favourites?
I mean, playing like this, you can put them fairly high. They'll take some stopping. Oh shoot!
Play on. Shot is just whistled over the top. Witsel. It's not his game really from that range.
They will take some stopping, because not only have they got a decent starting 11, but they've got 4 or 5 players on the bench as well that are more than capable of coming on and changing a game. One of them, of course, and we've already seen him do it plenty of times, is Marouane Fellaini.
Does look, judging from the friendlies, the World Cup warm-ups we've shown you on MUTV, that Fellaini is going to be starting off on the bench. It looks like it's going to be Witsel that Roberto Martinez is going with, and you see Thierry Henry in the background there as well, who's part of the coaching staff for Belgium. Big controversial decision that Martinez made was leaving out Nainggolan of Roma from the squad.
Very controversial. Very controversial. Nearly as controversial as Joachim Löw leaving Leroy Sané out of their squad.
That is incredible.
You'd have thought that he would have been, after the season he's had, one of the first names on his squad list, but obviously he has other ideas.
But Nainggolan is, should we say, an interesting character off the field as well, and maybe that just doesn't quite work with Martinez.
I'm very surprised though, because he is a very good player as well. He's been a very good player in a very good side.
Carrasco, 2 for company. He does well to find Hazard. Dembele. Carrasco, and it finds its way in the end to Tielemans. Lovely ball that, and now Hazard, clear chance. Oh, now your brother would have just clipped that in, but Hazard Jr. blasted over the top.
What a shame. It's lovely footwork, real lovely footwork. Ball out into Carrasco. Bit fortunate with that one, but Tielemans, lovely little bit of skill. And he fakes to shoot, and he has to do better. Nice little bit of footwork. And again, like the Dries Mertens one in the first half, your eyes light up and you make the wrong decision in the end. You wish he'd probably have kept that down.
I remember Thorgan Hazard actually joined Chelsea at the same time as his brother, but never played for Chelsea. Went out on loan to a number of clubs. He's made a success of his career at Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga. A little bit disappointed he didn't make it 5 there. 5-1 would be a little bit more accurate portrayal of what we've seen tonight.
Well, he's been even less busy in this half, Thibaut Courtois, than he was in the first, and he didn't have anything to do, as you said, Stuart, apart from pick the ball out the net.
Witsel sitting just in front of the back 4. Yeah. Hazard off. Scored 11 in each of the last 2 seasons for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Hazard, I don't think he was off, you know. Batshuayi was off, but anyway.
It's not going to change much of the proceedings anyway at this stage, with what, 12, maybe 13 minutes to go, including injury time.
They did qualify comfortably, Costa Rica, but recent results, I think, have caused a bit of concern. They were beaten 5-0 by Spain. Well, that can happen to anybody, of course. They did beat Scotland and Northern Ireland, but were beaten by Hungary and Tunisia and England and now Belgium. So very, very much a mixed bag of results going into the World Cup. No disgrace losing to Belgium or England, but it's not an ideal run going into the World Cup.
No, it certainly isn't. It isn't.
Is that a push by Campbell? Yes.
It's like losing all your pre-season fixtures, Stuart, you know. You actually go into the tournament proper, or in our case the domestic league, the first game, first day of the season, when your team hasn't done well for 4 to 6 weeks and you've lost all 5 or 6 games leading up to it, your confidence is going to be low.
Carrasco, now Tielemans. Well, he went for the spectacular. He tried to sort of curl it into the corner, I think, Yuri Tielemans, but in the end he just played a back pass virtually to Navas. It was rather soft, that, from Campbell as he went to ground. The referee was having none of it. Costa Rica are about to enjoy their 5th appearance in a World Cup. Belgium's 13th. The best they did was 4th in 1986. That comes Dembele. I thought Campbell was pulled back there as he tried to race through.
He was, but there were hardly any appeals at all, were there?
Hazard certainly made an impact since coming on. A lovely ball looking for Carrasco, but Navas read it.
Yeah, he also looks a clever player.
Yeah,
just like his brother. He'll be disappointed not to be on the score sheet with that chance that he virtually in the end created for himself with that fabulous dummy that allowed him to push the ball on into the space, and you just thought, wow, this is 5-1, and then he blasts it over when it looked easier to score.
2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the second half for Belgium.
Yeah, great ball. Great ball.
Ishibat Schwa. Carrasco waits in the centre. Schwa has a look up. Tielemans did well there. Keylor Navas couldn't prevent the corner.
Probably might have been easy for Tielemans just to sort of step past the ball and see if he could backheel it into the path, because he was always running out of grass. Just there, just heel it. I'm not saying it would have got there, but it's a very, very difficult angle to try and squeeze it past Keylor Navas.
Belgium looking for a 5th. Vertonghen was lurking there on the edge of the 6-yard box, and that was going to find his head. Cleared away though. Well, what a job he's done tonight. Scoring a couple and setting up another.
Yeah, very unselfishly as well, has to be said. But it was a wonderful piece of vision from Romelu Lukaku. Normally when a forward sees the sight on goal he shoots, but he realised that there were people in better positions.
Carrasco, he wants a free kick. He looks straight at the referee there, and he's caught on his calf. In the walls a little bit. Acosta waits to see if there's an injury there, but Sportingly just plays on now. Just going through the middle. Real wrestling match there with Nasser Chadli. Here's Dendoncker. Fascinating to see the England-Belgium game, actually, the 3rd game of the group. As I say, it could be effectively not a dead rubber, but a game where both teams are already through. We'll see. That would be a nice situation to be in. If you were England, though, you wouldn't desperately want to get something against Belgium. You wouldn't want to be in a situation where you really needed a result.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. And similarly, Stuart, they would not want that coming into a game against us either. But I understand what you're saying. I think it's so important with these two teams not facing each other until the last group match that they're both sitting on 6 points.
Dembele, there's just a little bit of talk about him actually leaving Spurs this summer, interestingly. Tongan. Comfortable for Belgium. Been impressive. Hazard over on the right this time. Schwei just lost his balance. Joel Campbell is offside.
Only by the 3 yards.
Yeah. No doubt about that one.
But he's already on his way. He knows he's offside before the ball's even played. I know he's only a young lad, but he's had plenty of experience where he's been, and he knows how to play the position.
Well, he's 25 now. You'd have thought he'd know. Duarte. The foul. Inside the final 5 minutes. 4-1 Belgium, and bear in mind, they went behind in this game.
Yeah, it was only a half chance as well, though, Stuart, wasn't it? It was a wonderful strike from Brian Ruiz against the run of play. But both before and since, it's just been Belgium all the way. And all right, the football hasn't been quite as scintillating in this second half, but you can understand that they played so well in the first. They got the goal cushion, and there are people who, quite rightly, Roberto Martinez wants to preserve for next Monday.
It's Belgium, Panama, a week today.
It just precedes England's opener, doesn't it?
Groiner, who certainly will be starting in that game. When you're going into a World Cup, 19 games unbeaten, that's not a bad record. Then Donker. Back it goes to Courtois. Glad to see the ball, probably. Something to do. Vertonghen. Fancy. Vertonghen. Alderweireld. Hassan Chadli. Vertonghen again. Shuai. Oh, what a nice touch. Few party pieces coming out now for Belgium. He wanted to get that back from Carrasco. Gonzalez. That's a fighter. Those days we were hoping for Costa Rica, we'll be hoping the fourth official's board says naught. Imagine.
I don't think it will, not on this occasion. A few more stoppages in this half. Probably looking at 3 or 4 minutes added on to the 90.
Offside. Late flag. Ian Smith made up a lot of ground there, only to be stopped by the linesman's flag.
He needs to have a look along the line. He's not quite got himself back on side. It was a close run thing with Alderweireld at the top of your picture, but he's just that sort of half a yard behind him, maybe less.
Well, if you're a Belgian fan leaving this stadium tonight, you'd go with a bit of a spring in your step, looking forward to the World Cup.
Yeah, you certainly would. I hope they don't disappoint either, because they have done in recent tournaments where people have expected them to do well, but playing like they have done this evening, we mentioned it pre-match, Stuart, or you mentioned it during commentary. We know that they've got a squad, but have they got a team? Have they got that togetherness, that collectiveness that you undoubtedly need to win a huge trophy like the World Cup? Because they've definitely got the skill.
Joe Campbell trying to put the defence under a bit of pressure there, hacked away by Courtois for the throw.
Only 2. I'm surprised.
Oh, he's been kind there, I think, to Costa Rica. Alderweireld. Comfortable night for the Belgian defence.
Yeah, it has been. It's good to see Alderweireld back in playing action. Don't know where he's going to end up in the summer or for the start of next season, but as we know it, he's still a Spurs player.
Carrasco. Witsel. Vertonghen. Morgan Hazard. Shuai. Yeah, that's another bit of a lunge, wasn't it? From Ian Smith this time.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully from Belgium's point of view, they come through with no problem at all, unscathed, but the worry was that Hazard did limp off, but hopefully just from a kick.
Yeah, I'm sure that's all it was. I think the big worry for Martinez will be Dries Mertens and that hamstring that he seemed to be icing when he went off.
Dembele. Wereld. In the final minute now of stoppage time in Brussels. Belgium just going through the motions, running the clock down here. Job done tonight.
Yeah, they've been mightily entertaining to watch, Stuart, especially in that first half. Some of the football they played and the goals they scored.
Oh, it's blistering.
There we go.
Belgium are going to the World Cup in fine fettle. Coming from behind to score 4 against Costa Rica. And Manchester United's